All right. So, on the Monday, we talk about the 9 factors that help us to strengthen or sharpen our faculties. Then this also including when we are not in the meditation, when we are not doing the formal meditation in the retreat. So it is good that during in our everyday lives too, we look into a number of things which they are very supportive whenever we, in the future, when we go for the retreat, the mind is so much more ready. So, what did I mention? So let us go to the sharing of screen. Okay. Can you all see? Okay. So that day I talk about one see impermanence in all formation. That is to say, when you are meditating, even when you do not able to see whatever that is changing, arising or passing away, that too, but in the back of the mind, you must also know that things are changing. Things will change. Although at that moment of time, you may not able to see it. Now then in everyday life, as I said, that we also need to repeatedly or again and again, we have to reflect on the impermanence, that things will go change or undergo destruction. Then also I mentioned that sometimes our reflection on the impermanence, we have to be directed, not just saying that everything is changing, everything is going impermanent, but more towards directed. That is to say, for example, we connect it to our loved ones. When our loved ones, they will undergo change. All right? Then you reflect on your health, perhaps. And then you look at your health, that although you are healthy right now, but things will change. Perhaps you are wealthy right now. Then also in the back of the mind, you reflect, things may change. Things may change to become more wealthier, who knows? Or things may change to be less wealthy. Or the place that you are staying, as you like it, you thought that it's going to be like this until the day that you die, but sometimes things doesn't happen our way. So that too, I will say that, this place perhaps also will change. Or will change, not perhaps only, but will change. Number 2 is that one strives carefully. That is to say that when you are doing a meditation, you have to be thorough in your practice. You got to be penetrative. That means you have to do it more seriously in your practice. And as I said, there are yogis in places that I've seen before, not necessarily in Mahasi's tradition or whichever tradition. There are yogis who, when they come to a retreat, they take it easily. They take it like, it's just a place to relax from all their worldly stress and so on. That they come to a temple or they come to a place, they're not striving, but they are just only doing a lot of good deeds. Helping out in the dana, helping out in the kitchen, cleaning up the place, doing this and that, helping out in the office, doing the financial work and so on. Although those things are, of course, they are needed in a temple, but this is not striving. No, this is not striving. So when you go to retreat, you have to really strive. You have to give up on all other duties and responsibility, whether it's household or whether it's a monastic duty, even including for monks too. Yeah? So even for monks, we have to give up on all the chanting and meeting with devotees and doing all this, all the house dana or death chanting, all these things, you got to put it everything aside. So your job, the yogi's job also is only one thing. Walk, sit, sleep, walk, sit, sleep. The next day following up everything again and again and nothing else. Then one strives continuously. One strives continuously. That is to say, you have to keep it going and going and going. As I said, that during in the retreat, although you sometimes for a beginner, they look at the timetable, it is so many hours of walking, so many hours of sitting. So the whole purpose is we want you to have a continuous practice. But a lot of people don't like, especially the Mahasi style of practice, because they thought that we teachers don't give them freedom, don't give them to do what they want to do. Cannot. You cannot do that. You have to have discipline and to strive continuously. The discipline that is not just your 5 precept or 8 precept. Your discipline to be punctual. You come in, this is the time to sit, you sit. This is the time you walk, sit, walk, sit. This is time to eat, you eat. This is time again, after that you walk and sit. If it doesn't ask you to do this and that you are not supposed to do, then everything is just for striving and to strive continuously. Then also I said that even when you are at home, when you are at home too, you are also can strive at least on the mini aspect of continuously. We are not talking about when you are in the retreat, because at home you have responsibility, children to take care, husband, grandchildren, and so on. There are a lot of other responsibility. But if you can able to spend your time, a short time, as I said, you spend for, let's say, if you have 4 hours free, then you block that time just for you to do your own personal mini retreat. You block that time so that this time you do continuously a walking, sitting. And because, as I said, when you go into a little bit more deeper, sometimes after 2 hours, the mind starts to calm down. Then at least there's 2 hours, there's some degree of progress is there. Rather than sometimes you just do an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, 1 hour in the evening, an hour at night. Although there are 4 hours, but they are still quite different, because there's not in a sense of continuity. You break here and there. So if you can, at home, we're going to look into this continuous part of development at home. Perhaps when it comes into maybe in the future, when we have a little retreat, then I will go into this a little bit more, how to make it better when we are striving at home. And again, each and every one of you will be very different, in the sense that responsibility is different, your time is different, because when you're at home, this is not in the retreat center. Then one remembers the ways how to attain samadhi. That is to say, here the samadhi, as I mentioned, it is including mindfulness, effort, and concentration. How to bring your mind into a state of calmness and clarity. And then you know your technique of your walking, for example, how to do a proper walking. You know how to start from a first phase, second phase, third phase. At least you know a basic technique, because that basic technique is help you to bring about that samadhi. And sometimes as you get better, sometimes we change the phase. That means sometimes we go a little bit faster, sometimes we go a little bit slower. We change according to the situation. Then the samadhi becomes continuous, the samadhi becomes clear. And then how to do the sitting? Again, the technique is, we have been given every now and then about the technique to pay attention. And again, in the talks in the faculties, we talk about so many ways and how we can just micro-tune the noting mind in order just to don't fall into the imbalance of the mind. Just a micro-tune it, and then it'll keep you clear. And again, you have to, the faculties has to be fine-tuned. It's not just a one-time thing. So there's a lot of things that you do it with trial and error. Over time, you become very skillful in the samadhi. When you're ready, for example, the mind knows how to go into more clarity. When you're not ready, you know what to do just to bring the mind to be ready. That is interesting. There's a lot of things that we can talk about, but over the time we have talked about those things already. Number 5. No, so Monday we stop at number 4. And so number 5, let's carry on. One strives suitably. Suitably here is the one in clear comprehension. We talk about suitability. You know about your intention, you know your suitability, and so on. Now here, in this sense, here the suitability is that it's connected to your external suitability. Okay, what is suitable to you may not be suitable to another person. What is good? What is the external condition may be very helpful to you, but to another yogi, it's not the right thing. And then we're going to look into it. What are the 7 external suitability? Okay. This is the one. 7 external suitability. That means there's be suitability of food. Number 2, dwelling, weather. Then you have posture, we have persons, we have suitable talk. Then number 7 is suitable resort. All right, suitable food. That one you all know. That one I don't need to talk about it too much. You all know how to eat only. Yeah. Suitable food. Suitable food means that it is agreeable to you, that it is good for you. Again here, it is suitable to you may not be suitable to another person, because sometimes certain places may provide different kinds of food for you. But sometimes you may be a vegan, for example. And then that particular center may not able to provide a vegan food for you, because sometimes for certain people, their food intake, it's a very sensitive thing for them. It's a very sensitive, whether it's because of beliefs issue or compassionate issue, or whatever that you are going through. Yeah. So again here, the food may not be suitable to you. So sometimes there are places, they provide vegetarian food. They provide vegetarian food, only vegetarian food, and they don't have any meat or fish and so on. And some of you may not able to take it because it's difficult. Because one big vegetarian, you want to die already, some of you, because you are so used to meat and fish and other things and so on, eggs and so on, So you may not have those things. in a certain retreat. Uh, uh, Sometimes also once in a while, when a certain organized retreat, there are places that only provide vegetarian food for me. Yeah. I also no problem. I also can makan. But after 2 weeks later, during the retreat can, but the moment finish the retreat, different story already. Yeah. So during the retreat, I have no problem with all those things. Then again, there are when you go to a different places, the type of food may be more spicy or less spicy, more salty, more bitter, and so on. Yeah? And also sometimes the food may not be agreeable in terms of hygienicity. Yeah? It may not be so hygienic. Yeah? So you makan a little bit, you eat a little bit, after that, ayo, the stomach all grow haywire. But other yogis, no problem. Yeah? The local yogis have no problem with those things, especially like you go into Burma, Thailand, or more into these type of places, you have a more hard time. Yeah? So too, like for example, also when the first time I went to Burma, yes, it was a hard time because the stomach ache and diarrhea and so on. But after 2 or 3 weeks later, after after a while, then the body somehow get used to it. Then there's a period of time there's no diarrhea, and surely it will come again. Again here we should not attach to our body so much when it comes to a retreat. And we thought that things are good, things are well. We thought that okay, everything sun sun, everything very nice, going smoothly, and so on. But it doesn't work that way, because after a while, then you get sick, diarrhea, fever, or whatever that is coming in. Then for sometimes there are places where if you go to a more deeper part of Burma or Thailand, the food that they eat, you may not able to eat sometimes. Sometimes they provide like frog or toad. Well, Chinese, you have sometimes you have your main course, your Chinese dinner or something like that. The first course, usually they have those things. But there are other kwai type of food, the food that you never heard of. Then you take it up and see what is it's all about. Sometimes they may provide you grasshopper. Yeah. Fried grasshopper. It may not be suitable to you, but over there it's a delicacy. So they want to provide you the best, but their best, not your best. So here the food for some yogis can be quite a problem. Yeah? So therefore, when you want to go to a retreat, it is good to know about the place, what they provide, how they provide. And sometimes if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, then you got to ask them, can they provide this for you or not? Can you have to talk to the people in charge and whether they can able to do that for you? So this is also important for some people, because if you don't have enough food, if you have keep on worrying about the food every time you sit down, you meditate, then it will affect your mind. Your mind somehow it cannot able to settle. Somehow also sometimes if you eat not enough, sometimes there are days the food may not be agreeable to you, although other days it may be agreeable to you. Then that day you take less. Then you take less. Sometimes it may affect your evening sitting, that you still desire to meditate, but your body is just lembek already. No energy already. Sometimes it happens, these things. So food is one of a very big thing that a yogi has to consider. But of course, a yogi must not be too choosy. Agreeable means it's doesn't mean that it's a 5-star hotel, it's the best type of food and so on. I mean, you can eat and so on, then that would be good. My advice is that if it would be better, apart from all your beliefs and whatever that you have, it would be always better that you can able to eat almost anything. Then everywhere you go, it's not a big issue for you about the food. For me, for example, especially, I find that myself, I can able to travel everywhere. You provide me whatever type of food, I'm fine, Yeah. If I'm going to Burma, that the food is a bit more salty, a little bit, sometimes a bit more oily, a little bit, I can take. I'm happy with it. When I go to a vegetarian retreat, type of retreat, then I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it. I'm perfectly all right with it. And certain times when we go to Thailand, there's the food can be a lot of basil, and every day they have basil, and they have different type of spiciness. Again, I'm perfectly all right with it. So I find that for me, especially myself, I can travel a lot of places. And I train myself to do that, actually. I train myself to do that because I know if I have all this hindrance because of the food issue, then there are many places I cannot go. Many places I cannot go. So food, you have to look into it. All right. Suitable dwelling. Now, the suitable dwelling here is that it's your place that you are doing your retreat. The place that you are doing a retreat, of course, it has to be like give you certain degree of safety. Okay. Now, during in the Buddha's time, suitable dwelling can be under the foot of a tree. Or it can be a kuti or a hut, or it can be a hall where people able to do meditation. Suitable dwelling. Now, what is not a suitable dwelling? It's for a retreat. Actually, it's your own home. It's your own home. This is not a good place to. Difficult to call it a suitable dwelling, because of course you all know that the things that you like, you love, the people around you, they are all there. You somehow or another, when you are at home, there's always responsibility. No matter, even you want to minimize it, because you cannot. For example, you cannot feel the floor is dusty. You must go and mop it. Difficult. You see something unclean, you got to do something about it. And if somehow people is outside there, you still have to go out to greet them or whatever. So there's always some attachment, there's always some responsibility when you are at home. Even when a monk also or a nun also the same thing, when they are stay in the place where they, where their base is there, that means that they come back, they relax, and they so on. If you want to do a retreat there, also sometimes can be quite difficult, because there are certain belongings, and also there are certain other duties that they expect the monk to do. They expect the monk to do. So the best thing is that even for monks or lay people as a yogi, you have to get away out from your house, and you find a suitable place that help you to able to meditate. And then also another thing is that When you find a suitable place also, sometimes for some yogis, they like to meditate in the forest. And a forest kuti, a forest hut. Yeah? And sometimes there are certain places may not be suitable to you because there are wild animals there. Like for example, if you go into a Sri Lanka forest, well, there are elephants there. There are wild elephants there. And once in a while, these wild elephants, sometimes they trample upon the monks too, and the monk died. Yeah. Even there's one teacher of mine in Sri Lanka. In young, he was meditating in a cave. And the cave got a leopard. A leopard. Imagine. In the deep forest, they have these wild animals. And sometimes when you read of Thai caves and the monks go into it, they have wild animals like tigers. And it says that if you, of course, with their so-called power, metta or whatever, they live to tell the tale. They are still alive, at least to tell the story. So they encountered with this. So when you are encountered with this, especially at night, there can be quite a fearful thing. They can really elephant can really just, your kuti is to them is a flimsy kuti. It's not a brick house. It's made up of atap roof and a bit of wooden. This thing for elephant. This is an easy thing for it to come in. There are places also, for example, that I stayed in, like in Penang, up in the hill. There are certain hills. Then there are snakes. I learned to live with the snakes also. Learn to live with the snakes. Learn to live with scorpions. Learn to live with centipedes. Learn to live with what else? There's a lot of things. So the thing is that there are certain places, although sometimes some yogis, just a little bit of snake only, ayo, beliao, tapao, your back already, balik already. Cannot. Because little bit of snake, they are so fearful. Sometimes the snakes comes into the behind piece house here, I do welcome it also. Go near to it, have a look at it also. Because I'm not too afraid. Of course, not too near, But every now and then, when you live in the forest, especially when you in the forest type of settings, whether it's in the retreat setting or in the kuti setting, or a meditation center type of setting in the forest, you will definitely deal with these wild animals. And this is where you learn to control your fear. When you're able to control your fear, you learn to live with them, then that place becomes quite a suitable dwelling to you. Now, these are seen beings. You can see it. Of course, there are places also, there are unseen beings. The unseen beings, that is also very difficult to say, because sometimes some yogis also, their bravery is just a pinhead only, just small little bravery. Little bit of sound already, ghost already. Little bit of sound, spirits coming attack me already. They sleep at night, and then sometimes they feel that they cannot breathe. Their spirit is pressing on me, pressing on me. Beliao cannot meditate already, want to go home already. Aiyo. See like that. Sometimes a lot of times I think, I'm not say all, but there's a lot of times yogi exaggerate the whole thing. Bante, I come to a retreat, come to interview thing. Bante, very difficult to meditate. Why difficult to meditate? At night I cannot sleep. Why I cannot sleep? Because everywhere I hear got some sound here and there. After I want to sleep already, as if like somebody pull my leg like that, pull. I sleep already, and then somebody like pulling my hand like that. Bante, here I think I got a lot of spirits and ghosts. Bante, can you do a bit of chanting? See, and everywhere you go, there's always be unseen spirits here and there. It's not that they. It's not that you don't see it. Now the thing is that these spirits, they are unfortunate beings. They are unfortunate beings, and also sometimes they are a little bit mischievous. So the Buddha gave us there's chanting like Metta Sutta, or doing some metta, or transferring some merits to them, and to do these type of things. And while you're in the retreat also, your mind supposed to be mindful, a little bit more mindful, and then you can able to overcome the fear. Sometimes like some yogis, they stay two in the room, for example. And then one yogi, okay, I finished my retreat, bye-bye. Then you happen to stay alone. I dare not stay at night, one person at night. I must go and look for another yogi and stay with the person. For me, if one person is so happy, for another yogi is fearful because of their mind, whatever they are thinking. So the dwelling becomes like again, sometimes it may not be so suitable to you. And usually this time is like, if you're a new yogi especially, and you come from a city type of people, and you come to a forest type of setting, then this type of things is become exaggerated. So be careful. In the text also, in the text there are also mentioned about the type of suitability according to your temperament. According to your temperament, that means there are, for example, let me show you a little bit more. Lodging. Just to go to the first part first, the lodging part. In the Visuddhimagga, the path of purification, they are given that all of us, any one of us can fall into one of these 6 temperaments. So we have lustful temperament or greed temperament, and then you have this hateful temperament or anger temperament or deluded temperament. And then you have speculative temperament, faithful temperament, and intelligent temperament. Number 1, 2, and 3, this is on the unwholesome side. 4, 5, and 6 is on the wholesome side. So each one, I think each one of us, you have one of the unwholesome one can be more stronger compared to the other 2. And also, on the wholesome side also, one of your wholesome side can be more stronger than the other 2. So there's wholesome and unwholesome. Part of us that we can see actually. What do you mean by a temperament? Or how does a temperament arises? And a temperament arises because of our past lives connection. It says that, for example, if you are a hateful temperament, you could be, in the past, you do a lot of like killing, stealing, fighting, this type of things. Lustful temperament, it could be in the past life, you like beautiful things. Maybe you are in the Deva realm, and then after that you are reborn here. From Deva realm, you come here. Your idiosyncrasy, your personal attachment still follow you around. Deluded temperament, that means it's not so bright, the person. It also connected with those people who are a lot of wrong view also. Although wrong view, in a certain sense, it's kind of a greed if you are looking at it, attachment to a wrong view. But because it is kind of a wrong view, then this type of deluded temperament also is connected with it. To people, a lot of wrong view. Yeah. Past lives, present life also, they says that this temperament also affect us because of our bodily conditioning. Our bodily conditioning, sometimes the body has different way, sometimes they have more pain, and then they're always like not moody and difficult, because they have a certain degree of pain in the body. Then they become like anger temperament. And then if the body is beautiful, nice, pleasant, you stay in a nice place, nice weather, and so on, then lustful temperament or greed temperament do arise. Speculative temperament. A speculative temperament means that this person is like they have a lot of philosophizing type of thinking, a lot of thinking, a lot of you give them, they see the flowers, they see the hills, and then they can write stories over it, or they can write a poem over it, and so on. Speculative temperament. They think a lot, and so on. They have a lot of reflection, and sometimes their reflection can be upside down. They think a lot. Their world is circulating around in their head. Their world is not out there. Everything that go around is their head, because they think of everything, they speculate everything, and so on. Call it a speculative temperament. A faithful temperament. This one is quite easy to see that this one, those people like to go and see the monks and the nuns. They like go temple. They like to do a lot of dana. They like to do helping the temple, clean up, do this and do that. Faithful temperament. Now the intelligent temperament, this one is more, not to say that they don't use thinking, but they are more prudent in a certain sense, more careful in a certain sense, that they are more wise in a certain sense also. What they want to do something, they think of it, what is the negative, what is the positive, should I do it in a way, rather than you speculate about the beauty of doing it, or how, or a different way of thinking. So intelligent temperament or more wise temperament, the mind is more towards that type of more careful, more prudent, more, not to say calculative, but they are more sure of what they want to do. Now, how do we know these temperaments? Now, this temperament, when they taught in the Visuddhimagga, they are, if the teacher want to see the monks or nuns or the yogis temperament, then they have to stay together for a while in order to know what their temperament is, the yogi's temperament. And in our modern setting, like where you come for a retreat and then you are new and then you have to start a retreat, it's not easy for us to able to take note of what is your way of doing things. Unless you've been coming for a retreat after retreat after retreat after retreat, then the teachers may know you. But if you first time you come, it's not easy to know what type of temperament you are actually is. So this one also depending on how they classify to look at the yogis and the monks or the nuns. And then the temperament also is also like, for example, how a person walk. If you walk in a certain way, they know that you are lustful temperament or hateful temperament. For example, if you are a lustful temperament or greedy temperament type of person, they look at how you arrange your beddings when you wake up from your bed in the morning. This is that the lustful temperament or the greed temperament. they wake up as if like they don't want to wake up like that. You wake up, you don't have enough sleep, and then you will still want to roll around the bed and all that. And then when you want to get up, you slowly get up, and then you stretch yourself. Come on, everything already, then only you get up. Lustful temperament. If you are a hateful temperament, then you get up in the sense that it's very fast, and then very quickly you get up. Sometimes as if like you're going to fall from the bed also. Then they see how they this one, and how for example, a lustful temperament or a hateful temperament, they walk. One that is great temperament, they walk very confident. They walk very confident, very nice. Their gait, the way of their walking, their gait, it's very sure and very confident. Like for example, like women go on the ladies go on the catwalk in the modeling. They have to walk very confidently in order to sell what like that. And then the hateful temperament one, they see how they walk, they walk very roughly. Pim pum 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 pim pum 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 pum. That's how you see the yogis. And this one, after being in the meditation, even in the beginning part of my meditation, when you stay with the yogis together, you can somehow or another, even you don't talk to them, you can see their way how they do things. For example, even they talk about how they do the laundry also. How a yogi do the laundry, or monks or nuns do the laundry. There are certain yogis just wash their okay, finish. Hang it already. Then the great temperament will slowly wash, brush some more. Everything has to be clean. Every single corner has to be properly cleaned. You see? There's a different how we do things. And this is where our idiosyncrasy and so on, it's going to project into how we meditate now. How we're going to progress in our meditation also. Because there's a because of your nature, and you not really able to change your way of things throughout your whole life. It's part of your thing. It's just like a leopard, they say. The leopard cannot change its spots, or the tiger cannot change its stripes, like that. It's going to be uniquely you. So, with this understanding of this temperament, looking at the yogis, how they did, and so on, then when it comes to a suitable lodging also, when it comes to a suitable lodging, there you are, then it says that if those with a lustful temperament or greed temperament which is strong, then they have to have ugly and unpleasant lodging. And then the hateful temperament has to be clean and pleasant lodging. Okay? Now, why is that so? Why the lustful temperament or the greed temperament needs this ugly and unpleasant lodging? And what do you mean by ugly and unpleasant? That means ugly, unpleasant. That means the kuti, for example, got holes here, cobwebs, floor not clean. Everywhere nothing is nice. Nothing is pleasant to the yogi. That type of kuti, I think a lot of you will fall into this category. I think a lot of you fall into this category. And then why is that so? You see, between lustful temperament or then the anger temperament or hateful temperament, you need to counteract the perception of beauty or the perception of unpleasant. To counter the perception. So here, for example, if you are a greed temperament, you always like to look at things which is beautiful, everything that is nice. Hear what is beautiful, hear what is nice, and touch and feel, and so on. You like all these pleasant things. So the lustful temperament type, it has to counteract that perception that you have to give them ugly, unpleasant. You give them just a plank for them to sleep, or little mattress for them to sleep. Maybe the mattress also got a lot of bed bugs or whatever it is. For them to sleep. just to stop all their unpleasant, all their attachment to pleasantness. So this is quite good for them. And it helps them not to get attached to anything that is beautiful. Then mind goes where? Mind goes back to the body. And it goes back to the body. And it goes back to the body, then he can able to meditate because there's no distraction for them. Right? Now, on the opposite one is the hateful temperament. Now, in the hateful temperament is the clean and pleasant lodging. Now, if you want to read this one further, you should go to the Visuddhimagga. They can tell you, for example, not only clean and pleasant lodging, they can tell you that the people that serve the monk or the nun or the yogi also have to be well-dressed, good-looking, or beautiful. they go so far away, but of course I do not have the time to go into it. But it's an interesting read, And for those lustful temperament one, the people to serve them is all the auntie, uncle, all want to almost dying already one, then serve them. Then nothing is nice for y'all to see. So this is when they say clean and pleasant lodging, that means the kuti or the place has to be nicely decorated. They said in the book, after nicely decorated, properly there's a beautiful things around the person. Because the person, that hateful temperament, they always look for something unpleasant, then it triggers off their mood. It triggers off their mood very strongly, easily, and hard for them to meditate. And if you surround them with all these beautiful things, then they got no chance for that anger to come out. Everything is well done, properly done, and so on. So if you love this one, that means you are not not supposed to go like that. You're supposed to go the opposite of what you want. The deluded temperament. The deluded temperament means you have a good view and not shut in. The deluded temperament, because this time the mind is always inside. They're always inside thinking, and they're always thinking of the wrong things, and mind is not really out what is going on. So they need a place with good view, openness, like gardens and everything, that it's open for them. Then their senses can go out rather than stays inside. Because if they stay inside, the moment they start to become deluded again, they fall into their own trap. So here they want you to go out and so on. Now, speculative temperament. Now we go to a more wholesome type of this one. Now, this type people, a lot of thinking, a lot of pondering, a lot of reflection, a lot of philosophy inside the head. And then he says that you need a screen or close-up lodging, not an open lodging. Because this type of people, they look at anything. The flower is always impermanent, Then after that, they want to write a poem about impermanent, and then they write, or they want to write something that about what they are staying over here. There's something that's always thinking inside them. They want to do something. They want to think about even connected to the wholesome things. So because of their senses and their eyes and their ears, they when they hear all these type of things, they tend to become more thinking, more pondering, more a lot of philosophy, a lot of dhamma, instead of you're supposed to go and watch your meditation object. You're supposed to go into there, but they're going to start going thinking. So you got to screen the whole place up, cover them up so that it doesn't have a good view for them to see. Yeah? A faithful temperament. Here, this one is same as the hateful temperament. They need a clean and a pleasant lodging. Intelligent temperament. Now, the intelligent temperament, anything is suitable for them. The wise temperament, they can make do. Anything is okay for them. So the more wise one, the more intelligent one is quite okay. But of course, when we are going into a retreat time, it's not easy for us to go and see, hey, look at how many temperament, this temperament, I'll go that kuti, you temperament, you go. We cannot do that in the retreat. Usually in the retreat, the place is all almost the same thing. The place is the same, the hall or wherever that you are staying is almost the same. So you got to, finally, as I said, if you can, although the Visuddhimagga mentioned a number of these things, but I think that it is good that you are able to adjust and all these things. You are able to adjust that. It will be good for you. So if you want to read about this lodging, so it would be good that you go and look into the chapter 2 of the Visuddhimagga, the chapter on concentration, I think. And then they talk about the concentration, they talk about this type of temperament. Okay, what else is there? Suitable weather. Now the suitable weather here, it's quite simple. It's that a pleasant weather, not too hot, not too cold, will be just nice. But again, for some people, a bit warmer will be easier. So some people, a bit cooler will be better. And sometimes this weather here is that, for example, like in Malaysia, it's a hot season and it's hot throughout the whole year through. Hot, raining, and then it's get very humid. It's where the humidity comes in. It really makes the meditation very difficult at times. If you are weather, even if you are hot weather, but it's dry, when you don't sweat so much, you can still actually able to meditate. So too when it's cold, when it's dry, also it's easier to meditate. But it's when its humidity is high, then it's difficult to meditate. Like when you go into like Burma or Thailand to meditate, then they have this seasonal weather. They have 3 seasons: a hot season, a rainy season, like right now, Vasa season, and then they have the cold season, which is coming in the December, January, February, that time, about 3 months like that. It's cooler season, cool season. So a lot of these retreats going on, international retreats, they have it in the cold season, January, December and January, and sometimes stretch over to February. So that time is a pleasant time to meditate. So when it comes to, but for some people, this season is a very difficult, because then they come to cold season, they sneeze, they get fever, they get colds, they get this and that, and then they felt very miserable to meditate. But when it comes to the hot season, for some people, again, I mean, Burma hot, sometimes it can reach about 35 degrees, 40 degrees sometimes. And then you sit there, it's like you're sitting in an oven, and that is for 1 hour, it's like the whole hall is baking you, bake until you sweat until you got no sweat to come out anymore. This is the hot weather. But still, for some yogis, can still sit there until the robes all wet, meditate. Then you can be very smelly. You smell yourself, wow, tahan. You smell the monk in front of you or the yogi in front of you also tahan. Very terrible, especially in the hot season. But they still sit there, can meditate. But less people meditate there. But still, You can actually, for some people, can meditate. So this weather, it all depends. Sometimes people like to go up to like in Malaysia, they like to go up to Genting Highlands or Cameron Highlands or Fraser's Hill, or even sometimes up to Penang Hill. It can be quite cooling at times, and it's quite pleasant. So there's one of the I think about number of years ago, I had the Wasa in Penang Hill, in a bungalow Penang Hill, due to the generosity of one devotee who has a bungalow up there. This is one of the best time I was there, every day in a pleasant weather. At night, you don't have to worry about, you just open up the window, put up mosquito netting. It's like you're sleeping like in the pleasant aircon, 23 degrees, 24 degrees temperature, something like that. Oh, nice. But after that, nothing lasts. After that 3 months finish, then of course we come down. So suitable weather. So I think again, here suitable weather is you can train up yourself. Actually, you can train up. It's just that you have to learn to not to be too attached to the body. Whatever weather next time that you have, whether warm, hot, or cold, then you try. You have to try to meditate, because in Malaysia, for example, most of the places that you can get to meditate is always warm and humid. So if you're able to manage those things, you can still able to progress and develop. Again, suitable posture. Suitable posture here, as we can get connected, means that posture here means the 4 postures. What are the 4 postures again? Standing, walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. And again, these postures that we learn during the retreat, we learn about, especially the 3 postures, not the lying down posture. Lying down posture, usually, most of the time, we don't encourage, because you know what will happen after that. So normally we don't push on that. But there are times it can be useful also. Okay, at times. Now, even in this posture also, then the Visuddhimagga says that all this temperament that you see also happen in the postures too. So those are again your lustful temperament, walking, standing; hateful temperament, sitting, lying down; deluded temperament, again walking; speculative temperament, as in deluded temperament; lustful temperament, faithful temperament, same like this one; intelligent, any postures will do. Now, why this one? Lustful temperament, because when the sitting is quite pleasant, you don't have to exercise the body, you have to move the body. So sitting, it's good for for the hateful temperament. Sitting and lying down is good for you because it is more pleasant. So it counteracts the hateful temperament. Walking and standing, you need more effort. Sometimes the walking can be quite tiring, quite pulling the muscle here and there. Then when it's a bit unpleasant, then it's good for those things also. Something like that. So again here, during in the retreat, we don't really look at this one, but we make sure that you do enough walking, enough sitting, then you will somehow or another you'll fall into this category. Somehow or another, so you don't have to really look into your temperament. So as long as you do walking, standing, then you can actually able to develop things quite clearly. So again here, these are the postures. So as I said, again, don't worry about this one, although it's mentioned in the text, but when we are meditating, we just make sure that we do walking and standing and sitting meditation, then that will be more than enough. Yeah, more than enough for you. Yeah. What time now? Oh, 10:02. All right. I thought I was just about. Okay, never mind. Okay, I tell you what. I stop here until the suitable person because I think that later part we can go on. The next talk we can look into a little bit on balancing the faculties of enlightenment. I mean, these factors of enlightenment, we can talk about it a lot, but I'm going to summarize them because we talk about balances in the faculties a lot, and they are very similarly, you can apply it in the factors of enlightenment, the 7 factors of enlightenment. Then later we talk about 7, 8, and 9. It's not too long, but I think it takes one more talk for me to cover. So, okay, we'll stop here for tonight. And on Friday again, then we have on Friday we have a Q&A. And again, your Q&A, you can send in your questions on the Dhamma or the practice and so on. Then again, here at the chat there, you have the phone number for you to send the questions to them. Okay, so that's it.